without further ado, I introduce to you Mr. Brian Heat.
When I first got started speaking in 2008, I said, God, give me 4 groups to talk to: athletes, entertainers, politicians, and journalists, because they have fans, constituents, supporters, and students. And if I can ignite their lives, they can turn around and ignite the lives of those who they support. You guys are fulfilling my dream today. Don't let me down. I dreamed about you before today. Matter of fact, I prayed for you before today. One of my main problems since I came into the county, and I still have it with education, is they eventually start to make you feel like robots. You may be teaching only towards the test. You're teaching only towards the initiatives, but you know the kids aren't getting it, but it doesn't matter if they get it or not. What matters is what they said, do this only. And you as a passionate educator, you come into the field with all this spit and fire in your system, but slowly but surely, you wear down. And I'm gonna tell you, this is the worst field to wear down in. Because when you wear down, you're no longer the teacher you were when you came into the system. You're no longer the vice principal. I was a vice principal before. You're still a teacher. Matter of fact, repeat after me. I'm still a teacher. I'm still a teacher. I'm still responsible for changing lives. I was told you guys were the tough group. 2 or 3 people told me, you better watch out. You better watch out. I thought that was funny. I said, well, they better watch out. I said, I'm not trapped in here with y'all. Y'all trapped in here with me. If you're not a teacher in your heart, you need to step off and go someplace else. Let's together find our unique voice. Let's get into it. What I realize is that each of us in this room come to education for a different reason, a different sense of passion. I know for me, when I first came into the business of teaching, it was for males. Most people pursue their passion based upon what they didn't get. That's not uncommon. I became a speaker because I needed motivation. That's why I started speaking. I needed it, so I became it. Teach vision, work ethic, and value. Some of your students have no vision for their lives. Their vision is the grades you're trying to hold over their head. I got a vision for an A. That has no connection to them. Do you guys know that when they get to me, a lot of students do not even want to be involved in education at all? They're in college because they have to be. That's not good. And I'm saying in this room, matter of fact, I'm not talking to any of you in it because you guys are superstars. I firmly believe that. But there's a problem, I believe, with the K-12 system all around the country. Not in Prince George's County, the country. You're creating people, you're creating institutions or children that no longer believe that education is relevant. Because you're not teaching vision. Tap into your kids. Tap into their vision, and they'll work hard. If you tell them that, oh, you want to be a graphic designer and do video games? Look, man, just because you don't play video games, don't downsize his passion.
I don't think those video games are appropriate, so you shouldn't do that.
Oh, so you're speaking from the divine place now. You know their anointing. You know what they're supposed to be doing, right? And then again, write this down. Be careful from teaching from your own limitations. You teach vision, they'll work hard because now you're talking to their soul. You're not talking to just their mind. And value. I don't know about you, I worked the hardest in school systems where I was valued the most. Everything that's ever happened to you brought you to the field of education. Everything. My mother being an educator was not by accident. My father graduating from Carnegie Mellon and then going back to teach classes on business was not by accident. But understand this, your journey, your unique journey, I don't care where you came from, what school, understand it prepares you to be where you are right now. And if you don't respect your journey, that's why you're not respecting your position. I also say this, I would assume that most of us in this room, you have an extraordinary belief in your ability to change lives. Do you believe that? Let me tell you, if you don't believe that, you should quit today. Because guess what? Eventually, one of you may have my son in the classroom, and you don't want that. Why? Because I'm protective. Know this about the past you have and the job you have. If you're not protective of your anointing, it's not going to activate. Impacting the lives of living legends. How would you change your perspective of how you deal with the students in your building if you knew they become icons? I treat my students like they are the next game changers. When they tell you what they want to be, believe them. And you're looking at me like, what, is that supposed to be profound? Yeah. And guess what? If they change their mind, you change your mind with them. Baby, what you into now? Guitar? Here you go, here's a guitar. When I say developing a school culture of excellence, you're trying to take your students to a place of greatness. Defining personal excellence. Does your staff know what excellence means individually for them? Their greatest greatness. Your staff can't teach what they're not. You want your staff to teach their students about greatness and excellence, but you as the AP cannot evoke that out of them. You can't teach what you're not. You can't project what you don't possess. Ask yourself when you leave here today, are you the unforgettable educator? What are they going to remember about you, if anything? And if you can't answer quickly, you need to reevaluate your whole situation. I can say every day with no ego, my students will never forget me. You can't change their life in one day. You can't change their life in one semester. Are you there forever? What is the school's ultimate vision? Not just the vision your superintendent is giving you. When you sit down with your leadership team, where is the school going? What I want you to do this year is I want you to become the greatest person you can become so you can become the greatest AP you can become. Change your life. And I'm telling you straight up, and I don't want to meet you in the street and have this conversation one-on-one. If you're not prepared for this commitment, get out of the business before you bump into a Brian Heat. And we have an adult conversation about, so you're basically going to pimp the system, disrespect the children so you can pay your bills. With that being said, thank you so much. My name is Brian Heat. You just got ignited.